Okay. Alright, so on the reamer here, what you have is a reamer. Of course, the shank that you would normally use in a lathe is hacked off of it, and it's drilled and tapped in the end for this pull-through rod that you can turn by hand. Alright, and if you'll notice, it's got a little spacer on the back of it. This is your head space. From the datum point to here should be the space you need for proper head space, which would represent your go gauge. So from the datum point to here will be your bolt face. So you just put this in there and you start reaming, closing the bolt on the back of it as you're reaming. And as soon as it starts to go down, that's when I stop, clean it out, and check it, because you want the chamber to be as tight as you can get it and still be free enough to work. Now, let me say on head spacing, if you're going to start working on people's stuff, make sure you pay very close attention to what you're doing. You don't want to send no gun back to nobody, or even doing it for your friends. You don't want to give them a gun back that's got excessive head space. Excessive head space is one of the most dangerous things you can have in a firearm. If you don't understand head space, you definitely need to check into that and do some research on head space, what it means, what it is, and how it can affect you when it comes to a gun exploding in your face. So just wanted to get that safety measure in there. Definitely check your head space. Make sure if you overream somebody's barrel, don't be cheap. Say, oh, it'll be okay. Even if you test fire, say it'll be okay. It'd be okay for you to keep that barrel for yourself, but put the guy another barrel on there and do it right. I mean, a gunsmith's reputation is everything. So you don't want to do shoddy work. You don't want to give people stuff back that's unsafe. So anyway, we're going to get this reamer stuck in here and start reaming this thing. Shouldn't take but 5-10 minutes. I mean, this is pretty simple thing. Go easy sliding this rod down your barrel, because you don't want, for sure, you don't want to scratch the inside of the barrel. It's a brand new Criterion barrel. It's going to shoot probably lights out, so be real careful sliding your rod up in there. And I know I'm probably going to be in the way here, but I got to get this reamer in here and get it started. All I'm doing is holding it and spinning the rod to get it snugged up. And then I'm going to take a crescent wrench. There's 2 flats on this reamer. We're going to put it on there, just snug it down a little bit, and go to town. There we go. Alright. Alright, now make sure you use a good cutting oil. This is a sulfur-based machining or threading oil. Basically, I think it's a rigid pipe threading oil like a plumber's use. I use this for all of my stuff on a lathe, you know, lathe turning or threading. Back your reamer out. See if you can, let me get this thing in there so you can see what we're doing here. Sorry about that. Okay. Alright, get this thing in here and get a good bit of oil on the reamer, especially on the cutting part of it, where the shoulders will be. Make sure you got nothing on either side of this, because that's raw off your headspace. And we're going to stick that right back on the reamer. Can you see that? And slide your bolt forward, put it in the bolt recess. Okay. And then just start turning it. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Alright, it's already dropping down. Can you see here? It's already dropped down below the top where it was riding on the track. So right there, I'm going to give it 1 or 2 turns. And that's it. Back it up. Now, never spin your reamer backwards if you're, for any of you guys that aren't used to using reamers. Keep turning it in the same direction that it cuts and just back it out. Okay. Grab my crescent wrench. Break the reamer loose. Hold on to the reamer. Spin this out, pull it forward, and there's a metal that we took out of the chamber. Like I said, it's not very much, so this usually don't take but just a few minutes. Some of them may be a good bit short. It may take you, I'd say 20 minutes start to finish on any of these. That's actually putting the barrel in, aligning the barrel with the receiver and reaming. Okay, now we're going to take a little nylon brush, and we're just going to go in here and mop out this chamber, get it cleaned up. Make sure there's nothing in there to affect our gauge. And let me get some air. I'm going to blow a little bit of air in there. And we're going to go grab our go gauge. And always look, see, I just picked up the no-go. You definitely don't want to ream it to your no-go gauge. That wouldn't be good. So put your go gauge back in and see if it'll shut. No. Okay. Just pull this gauge back out. Now, before we go any further with this, because I forgot to check and make sure the bolt, yeah, I did check it, I think, a while ago. If you get to where it starts to go down and it acts like it don't want to close at all, make sure your bolt will close without anything in there. Make sure it's not hitting your counter bore in your barrel. So we still got a little ways to go. You know, clean off our chamber reamer. Put it back in. Now ideally this thing you should ream until it closes, the bolt closes all the way. But sometimes I've done that and it'd be a little bit loose. I mean, it's still safe, still won't close on a no-go, but it would come close to closing. And technically, if you can force the bolt down on your no-go gauge, you still have good headspace. Okay, get my snug up my reamer. And we're gonna put some more oil on it, right there on the datum line or the shoulder. And again, like I said, don't forget your headspace bush in here. It goes on back of the reamer, in between the reamer and the bolt face. Make sure there's nothing on it, and go back forward again. Okay, now see if you can see that. I'll try to keep my arm out of your way. I'm just lightly pushing down on it, and you see it start to move. And I'd rather spin this thing a whole bunch with light pressure than to put too much pressure on it. Alright, about halfway there. And we have just a little, see if you can see that, let me get in there on that. Have just a little bit of